With February right around the corner, I have a top goal that I wanted to share with you and a recap of January's goals. Welcome back, ladies. I'm so excited to be continuing this series that I started last month with all of you in our goals for the month. I would love to know in the comments below what goals did you have this month that you were able to accomplish, and also please let us know what your top goal going into February is. To begin with, I wanted to share with you a recap of January's goals. Then I'm going to share with you the vision boards that were shared to me by my subscribers, and then I wanted to share with you the top goal for February. So let's work our way down the goals. The first thing that I had on my list, and that was my top goal for January, was to fill out the applications for our kids' passports. This was a gift given to the kids by my mom for Christmas, and I said in that video that I felt the best way to show our appreciation for that was to get right on that, fill that out. So we did that. Well, I filled that out. We had to, get their heights and everything, and then we went to CVS to just get some passport pictures taken, and so we finally completed that portion, and it just feels good to have that done. We wanted to go just right away to the post office to see if we could get everything in order there, but it's by appointment only. So we tried to actually go on the website to get an appointment. Everything is booked up, and I think it was only like 2 months in advance that you could do it. So now every single day we just need to check back and see if there is something available. So that is something that I will be doing moving forward, but at least we were able to complete those things that I feel is that first step to get the ball rolling, so it feels good to get that done. The next thing that I had on my list that came from the list that I shared with my patrons was to complete family appointments, as in scheduling all of our family appointments for this year. And so I had said that this is a really good time to do that, just to as we have a blank canvas with our planners, it's good to just figure out when the appointments would be. It's also a reminder to myself to get that done, because we can let those kind of things slide. So I called we had our dentist appointments already scheduled, so they all did that already, but then I did make sure to get those eye exams done, so we have that completed. The last thing on the list has not been done yet, which is to make sure that everybody has their annual appointments. So that is something that is ongoing, but those other things, to have that out of the way and done, feels really good. The other thing on my mind that I love to focus on around this time of year was to refresh and renew my mind, and to give myself the time needed to be able to just think and to plan things out that I would like to do. A lot of it has to do with content, and it just takes so much to figure a lot of that out for me. I mentioned that it's always a good time of the year for me to get a spa membership or something, or early baths in the evening. It gets dark really early on, and when I'm just feeling really cold, it's a really great way for me to warm up, and then just to have that time to think instead of feeling like there's so much chaos going on. I like to just take myself away from everyone and just be alone, and so that's something that I have definitely been doing more of this time of year. The next thing was to swim daily, to pick up my daily routine that I had let slide for a couple of weeks, and I feel like it's half and half. I jumped right back into it, did, every single day, and then I realized I needed to kind of slowly work my way back into doing that. So half the time I feel like I would like to have more rest, and then the other half I feel like it's very motivating to me. I want to get up and get going. So I'm still half and half, I would say. And I think a lot of that has to do with the time of year. So, you know, just giving myself grace on that and saying that it's okay if I'm not doing that every single day. Even if I just had a goal of doing that 3 days a week, I would be happy. So I have been getting back into doing that, but like I said, it's not something that I am just every single day doing, and that's going to be okay for now. I feel like around March I will feel more apt to doing that every single day, but right now it's just we're going with half and half. The next thing on my list was to sell and donate the clothing that I have in my bins, and I had started that process, and then because of the dreary days that we were having, it just made it really difficult to get pictures taken well. I can't blame the dreary days for, you know, not having taken the pictures after those days were gone, but then it's a matter of not always feeling up to doing that. And I don't know, I've been in a weird kind of mood lately, and so that isn't something that I made a priority, and I didn't follow through with that. So it is something that I would like to definitely do, but especially with the clothing that I'm going to be posting, there are more clothes that would be appropriate for the springtime. So I think as we near more of the spring, maybe the end of February, I would focus more on that, or going into March. But right now I'm just, you know, I'm turning the page on that. I'm not going to beat myself up over that, and just realize that, you know, they're there when I am ready to go through with doing that. And then moving on from that, I wanted to declutter the dishes. So this was something that I made a priority, and I'm really happy that I did. I went through the kitchen, I went through the hutch, and just made a very big point to get rid of those things that I felt were weighing me down, and that were getting in the way when I wanted to take something out of the cabinets or set the table. It was just always something that I would think, oh, I'm not using this thing, or this is just really crammed in here, and then not feeling like there was a proper place for the items to go. So this made it even more difficult if the kids were helping out with putting the dishes away, or anybody. And I just wanted a place for everything, with everything in its place. So decluttering the dishes was a top priority for me with that. And so I did follow through with that, and I'm very happy that I did. The next thing on my list was to get new stationery in my shop. So that was something that I was this close to not going through with, because when I had emailed my printer, they did not get back to me. It took a week and a day, and then I sat there and just said, well, if I'm not getting anything back, you know, if I'm not hearing back from them, maybe I should just let it go. And then I thought, you know, no, I've done all of this up to this point, and I just gave them a call, let them know that I didn't hear from them. And I know that emails can get lost in the shuffle of things. I know that for myself. I haven't even been able to respond to every single email that I've received, but this was something that was important to me. And when you say how important is something to you, you have persistence with it. So it's not within my nature, I feel, to be very persistent, especially with people, but it was something that I really wanted, and I wanted to complete this goal that I had. And so I'm really glad that I just even called, just made that call. I got an email later on that day saying that, you know, they will get right on it, and they did. And so now I was able to put the new stationery in my shop, which is the Mademoiselle Blushing Rose stationery set, and I am just so pleased with it. And then I've already sent out 10 packs of the stationery itself. So I had mentioned to all of you within one of my videos that the first 23 purchases, you would receive a free hand embellished bookmark. So I'm numbering those of you who order from my shop, this stationery itself, what number you are in that order. So you get a gold number on there to say what number you were. So that way, you know, you all know. If you got a gold number, you know you got your free bookmark. But anyway, moving on from that, it just felt good to complete that because I feel like that was a long time that I have put that off and finally followed through with it. And then last on my list was to organize the game cabinet, which in last week's Lady of the House video, I shared that with you. I shared with you how overwhelming it was for me, how frustrating it was, and it was a frustrating section for me to clean out. And I mentioned that a lot of us have those different areas within our home that we don't look forward to doing, that may be a lot more overwhelming for us. And then it's funny because you can, after the thing is done, you can step back and say, that was overwhelming. I don't know why I made such a big deal out of it. And we can't always explain why in a moment something seems like such a mountain to climb, but it just may be that way for us for certain things, and that's okay. And to not make not to beat yourself up over something like that, because you're already getting beaten up, right? Over the whole fact that you need to do this and you need to take care of something. It's funny because I really wasn't going to share that moment that I had with all of you about just how frustrated I was. I turned the camera on. I just wanted to take a little minute to talk to the camera. And I couldn't even bring myself to have a good face on for that. And then I just spoke to the camera as if it was my friend, I guess, and just kind of speaking through the frustration that I was feeling. And so then later I could laugh at it, really, I could. And I thought that it would be helpful to someone to see that we have these frustrating moments. I think I often do not share those moments because I don't really need somebody else's feedback of that moment that I'm having. I think that even when you get the feedback from how you were reacting to it, that can be even more frustrating, which it was for me actually. So I tend to not share those kind of things on here, but I still think that it would be helpful for some to see that we all have those frustrating moments and it's okay, and not to sit there and wallow in them for a long period of time, and just to move forward with it. Okay, so now let me share with you others' vision boards. The first board I'm going to share with you today comes from Tiffany. She says, "My word for 2023 is endurance. As a woman, a wife, a mother, and a dreamer, over the last 10 years, I have created goals for myself that I have taken steps toward and then faltered. My focus this year is to not let those past missteps hold me back, but to press on. The image of the Bible represents my goal to read through the entire Bible this year. The home represents my call to hospitality and to delight in my peachy keen home in the desert. I have a collection of stationery sets and postcards that I am purposing to fill with letters and notes to friends and family. I'm homeschooling my two oldest girls, aged 7 and 5, and plan to create a schoolroom in an unused room in our garage. The image of the Kelly Riemston painting represents a commitment to improving my health, shifting my wardrobe towards dresses, and watering not only my garden but pouring into my relationships. The last photos will be a reminder to explore recipes and test bakes in pursuit of my dream of sharing my baked sweets as a cottage baker. Thank you for encouraging all of us to enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. I look forward to the joys and challenges of this next year. Sincerely, Tiffany." The next vision board comes from Eloise. She writes, "I would like to thank you for always making such beautiful videos that inspire me. I'm a preschool teacher. It's a bit difficult to be feminine, but I continue to try my best, even at work. Here is my vision board. My word is bloom, especially in my femininity, and also to have elegance. Yes, I have two. One next to my bed and another in the other room. Thank you again. Sincerely, Eloise. The final inspiration board that I am going to be sharing with you today comes from Krista. She said, "You inspired me to pull out my corkboard again and make a vision board. It has been a few years and I forgot how powerful they can be. Thank you for doing what you do." Krista. I am so inspired by the vision boards of these lovely ladies. It's especially wonderful to see how unique they are. Let us build them up in accomplishing this task I gave for the new year and the courage it took to share them with myself and others. This year I hope we can encourage one another as we work on our goals and understand the power of visualizing our dreams while also writing down our goals each month. This has made the biggest difference for me, and I know it will for you. Taking extra care to write my goals in gold reminds me of how special they are and the extra effort it will take to complete them. I'm making them beautiful, so I enjoy referring back to them daily and weekly until I finally complete them or decide it's just not a goal I need. And that's okay too. Thank you so much for those of you who emailed me all of your vision boards. I just think that that is so neat when I get that kind of participation, and that whatever it was that I shared with you inspired you that much to be able to do something about it. So I still encourage those of you, if you haven't done a vision board yet, to definitely do one. And if you would like to share, please send those pictures my way and I would be more than happy to share with others here. My biggest goal for the month of February is to create videos in relation to this Lady of the House housekeeping and the everyday checklist that I made available over on Patreon to everyone. It's a printable, which I printed mine on cardstock. I love when I can print things. I usually print it on cardstock. Anyway, I would like to create a video for every single day. And much like the way that I did that for Fly Lady Cat when I did that whole series with her, the way that I did that with the Christmas planner with Hillary of Old World Home, the way that she had her cleaning list set up and each thing to clean every day, I want to do that for my own Lady of the House housekeeping and the everyday. And I think that it will be very beneficial to those of you who start to implement this system because maybe you want to try something new, maybe nothing else has worked for you. If this works for you, I really hope that those videos would be very helpful. It's something I'm giving myself the month of February to complete, and then hopefully going into March, especially when everyone starts, you know, sharing their spring cleaning stuff, things like that. I think that's a really good time to have something like this available. So I'm looking forward to doing that and just getting this into video form. For the rest of my goals, you can go ahead and join us over on Patreon.